Hey everyone, my name is Riley Mullins, and I'm going to be discussing my final project on radicalism in applied behavior analysis. This is a concept that I found very interesting throughout not just this course, but through other courses and within this program, and additionally, like in undergrad. And these concepts I've in real time at work doing being an RBT and such. To get started, I focused my presentation on the theories of B.F. Skinner. He is my favorite behaviorist, father of behaviorism, all of that. I love him. I've always loved him. And this research only grew. Like my fascination with it only grew after this. So radical behaviorism is the philosophy of the science of behavior and developed by B.F. Skinner himself. This refers to the philosophy behind behavior analysis. There are several ways to approach this, and we got into this within the course of, and I think it ties a lot into nature versus nurture. But this radical behaviorism proposed that all actions performed by an organism are determined and not free. So there's the big argument of, are they free, are they not? Radical behaviorism focuses on that they are not. It treats us as humans and what we as humans do as behavior, even our private events. So thinking, feeling, there's a huge argument and debate over this within the field. And I side with B.F. Skinner on this, and I believe that our private events are behaviors as well. While you can make a good argument that they are not or that they shouldn't be considered, I personally believe that they should. Skinner's idea of behaviorism is different from other behaviorism schools of thought. With his research, he decided to take a new way of thinking about behaviorism and the mannerisms involved. I put a good quote in there. He had several. It's hard to pick one. Going into his system, the work of Skinner was rooted in the view that classical conditioning was simply too simple, and there needed to be an explanation of these complex behaviors. And I completely agree. After viewing some very complex behaviors, not everything is simple, and Skinner kind of breaks that down in a way that is, I don't want to say it's easy to understand, it's not, but it makes sense. Skinner argued that the best way to understand behavior is to look at the cause of an action and its consequences. It's like kind of the root of all the evil, so to speak, even if it's not evil, it's just behavior. Skinner's entire system is based on operant conditioning, and that is defined as the behavior is followed by a consequence, and that the nature of the consequence modifies the organism's tendency to repeat the behavior in the future. Some key concepts of operant condition, which we emphasize within this course and other courses, is positive reinforcement, negative punishment, positive punishment, and negative reinforcement. And we can do a deep dive into these, but I feel like as students are well versed in this and probably practice it daily. And one thing that stood out is that Skinner introduced a new term into the law of effect, and this is reinforcement. We use reinforcement, I tell people they use it without even knowing they're using it. So this is a daily thing teachers implement, you might do to your significant other in a ways. We do it in everyday life. And it's behavior that is, and he emphasizes that behavior that is reinforced tends to be repeated and strengthened, and behavior that is not reinforced tends to die out, extinguish, all of that fun stuff. Some key takeaways: radical behaviorism is considered radical because it undermines popular perceptions about human nature and how the universe works. While most people accept the basics of behaviorism, they resist it in extreme conditions. I've noticed this in workplace or through research. yeah, you can agree on the basics of things, but when you do a deep dive into it, and it should be with about everything, you're going to find things you don't agree with. And that is okay. But that doesn't mean that we should throw it out the window. Even if one rejects, and that goes to my point of, even if someone rejects these implications of Skinner's work and other behaviorists within the field, there are still obvious benefits. And you can see that if you work as an RBT or anything in this field of ABA, you see it firsthand, and it's almost amazing when you start from day one and you can visibly see it, and then it's just putting names to things that you're doing, and in the end, it is benefiting the children or all your clients. Like any perspective, radical behaviorism can give us a great deal of insight into why people think and behave the way they do. Use that however you may wish. It can be for the good, it can be for the bad.